Is this thing working? How are you doing, James, over there?
I'm awesome. How's it going? How's it going?
It's great. It's Friday.
Yeah, buddy.
We have a lot of fun on
buddy.
Fridays. We do miss headlines and stuff that happened during the week. It's pretty fun. But before we do anything else, let's welcome our sponsor for today, which is Eventbrite. And we're going to tell you a little bit about Eventbrite here. They are interested in creators. They want you to get your events discovered with Eventbrite. And you can find their link on our website at the top of the website, and you can click on the link and go straight to Eventbrite. It says you can sell tickets now on the leading event ticketing platform. Eventbrite is an affordable all-in-one ticketing and marketing platform that offers great value for your money. You can go on their website and you can get started for free. Just click the button there and click the link below. Thank you.
Cool.
Please support our sponsors.
Cool. Let's get this thing rolling. What do we got today on a Friday? What we do have today on a Friday is the news here in Texas about the storms that have been blowing through this week. Last week, man, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, tornadoes just rocked the Midwest and rocked Oklahoma. Well, then come Monday, the torrential rains began to rock East Texas. And we've got an article from the Texas Tribune, and it says, the East Texas town of Livingston is underwater. Drone footage of high waters along US 59 Thursday showed moving trucks and cars swept away. Businesses and homes have brown water at their windows. Most county roads are compromised, the officials have said. Livingston is the county seat for Polk County, which is one of several counties in the region that have seen between 15 to 20 inches of rain in the last 5 days, National Weather Service meteorologist Haley Adams had said. The flood warnings are in place for Trinity, Walker, and San Jacinto counties, along with all counties south toward the Houston metro area. Parts of Harris County, which is where Houston is, including the Woodlands and the Kingsville area, were also under flood warnings. Flash flood warnings were also issued for Hardin, Jasper, Orange, and Tyler County by the National Weather Service, Lake Charles District, according to the Hardin County Emergency Management. Several of these counties released evacuation orders in the last 24 to 48 hours, including Trinity County, which has ordered the evacuation of specific roads and neighborhoods. Many local school districts have canceled classes. Rainfall is expected all the way through Saturday. And I want to tell you, like they're talking about, we've had quite a bit of rain. Our road flooded here. Highway 59 that they're talking about down in Polk County and Livingston is, if you look on a map, Highway 59 runs from the far northeast corner of Texas at Texarkana all the way through East Texas down to Houston and continues on south. So it's pretty much a main corridor through here from Houston to Texarkana, and it gets a lot of traffic all the time. And
yeah,
so,
it's a mess going on right down there now because there really isn't a good way around.
That was my point with that.
Straight forward. Yeah, that's it. You go one way.
You can go far.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah, you can go farther east and travel up north, that direction. You can travel east of 59 and head north. You can travel west of 59 and head north. But it's sure going to take you a long time. You're going to hit all the little towns and
farm roads.
Yep. But the good thing is you get to see our neck of the woods, which is one of the prettiest places in the country, I believe.
I do too.
Yeah.
The Piney Woods.
You bet.
We love it here. But yeah, everyone just keep a watch out for all flooding.
Yep.
And if you see it, turn around.
Yep.
Don't drown.
Turn around, don't drown. That water may look shallow, it may look easy, but hey, you don't know if the road bed's washed out underneath it. You don't know if there's actually a creek there. So,
and you can't see which way to go. I mean, we've seen pictures of people, driving right into the river.
Yep. And not have a clue till they're in it.
You have no idea where you're going.
Yep.
So it's very dangerous.
Yep. Please turn around, don't drown.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, here we go. Before we start the show, please share the show with all your friends. Stomp that like button and follow Is This Thing Working on all platforms. Also, please check out our website. We're very proud of it. It is www.is-this-thing-working.com. Y'all enjoy it. It's really fun. I've had a lot of fun building it and learning it. You can teach an old dog new tricks.
Right. And a reminder to everybody, our opinions are our own. We go live every Monday through Friday on Rumble, Getter, and Facebook at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be the first to hear what breaking news of the day is, as well as our analysis on current polarized political environments raging across America. We teach you how to be informed, and we teach you how to become engaged each and every day. So let's get going.
Let's do it. You know where we start every single day. Trump. We're on Trump watch every day. So today is day 11 of this blackmail court is what I call it. You know, and here is his statement before he entered the court this morning.
No, it won't stop me from testifying. The gag order is not to testify. The gag order stops me from talking about people and responding when they say things about me. We have people saying things about me, and I'm not allowed to respond. So this judge has taken away my constitutional right. And as the Republican candidate and somebody that's leading Biden by a lot, I should be able to respond. But this guy's got me with a gag order. Now we're filing, I think today, a constitutional motion to get this out. We'll be filing a lawsuit on the constitutionality of it. But if somebody says something about me and I'm not allowed to respond, that's never happened before. Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Yep.
President Trump, he's on the offensive. You know, good for him.
Yeah, he has to be.
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
He has to stay on the offensive.
He is the Republican nominee for president.
Exactly.
And people need to be able to hear him. We've been having a lot of breaking news lately. It's all been negative, everything going on with President Trump and everything else that's happening in the world right now. But today we're going to have some fun, and we're going to point out some wins. First of all, Trump was handed some good news yesterday. The judge is going to allow him to go to his son Barron's graduation, which I believe is May 17th. So, yay for President Trump. That was a big thing. He was very disappointed. Also, like I say, President Trump goes on the offensive with the gag order that we just talked about and he just mentioned. And he also goes on the offensive and files for dismissal in the documents case where the Judge Aileen Cannon, who's been releasing all this great information that we've needed to know, you know.
This has uncovered a whole lot, man.
It really has.
Named a lot of names.
Yeah, so it says here on warroom.org, Trump files motion to dismiss Florida indictment amid allegations of selective prosecution.
Yeah, everyone's heard about the recent revelations from a Thursday analysis by investigative journalist Julie Kelly. And it suggests that there's even more extensive communication between NARA, who is the National Archives and Records Administration, and the Biden White House, implicating Deputy White House Counsel Jonathan Sue in the Florida classified documents case against President Donald Trump. If you remember a few days back, we brought out the all the unredacted statements. Jonathan Sue was one of these that was named in there.
Yes.
So this discovery happens on the same day the court documents show that Trump has filed a motion to dismiss that shows a blatant, unequal approach to enforcing the law about classified documents. According to those documents found and posted by Julie Kelly, NARA's actions include demanding that former President Trump's Twitter data be released. References to David isn't going to DOJ also point to David Fierro, an archivist appointed during the Obama administration, allegedly involved in building a case against President Trump since June of 2021, according to the posted documents. Do you understand that this was in the plan, people? This was a plan that started immediately after Joe Biden became president. In June of 21, this began.
Yeah, they started to coordinate.
Yeah.
You know, each agency had their own orders. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
The DOJ, the FBI, the DNI, everybody had and the CIA had their own orders.
Exactly. And they had meetings at the White House before the raid. I mean, you look at everything in those unredacted statements and you sit here and begin to connect the dots, and you've got no doubt that this was collusion, that this was a frame job, that this was set up by them as early as June of 2021.
I'm going to go on to read here. Media reports show that Trump filed a motion to dismiss his Florida indictment, claiming selective and vindictive prosecution. His legal team argues that the case is politically motivated, citing a report of special counsel Robert Hur. And if you guys remember, Hur is a former United States attorney of the District of Maryland. He is the special prosecutor that investigated Joe Biden's classified documents. He came out with this report that no one would take Biden seriously, and there is no way that anyone would convict an elderly man with a poor memory. Everyone's going to be sympathetic and well-meaning, and really, this was almost kind of like a slap in the face. A lot of people have been very upset. So what I don't understand is Trump and his aide, they were indicted in June of 2023 for mishandling classified documents, but they started investigating him in June of 21.
Right.
So it took 2 years for them to all of a sudden decide to come get classified documents from him, which we found out they actually shipped them documents over to, what was it, GSA?
Exactly. And that's the point of how this is such a win, is because Judge Cannon is the one that authorized his suit of dismissal based on blatant, unfair prosecution of one and not the other, when Joe Biden is sitting here with documents sitting in boxes in his garage behind his Corvette, and we act as though that's completely normal.
Yeah, and people continue to say, well, how did he get them out of the skiff if they were classified and everything? What did he do, stick them down his pants? I mean, people want to know how he got them out of the skiff. How did he got these classified documents home?
Exactly.
How did he do it without anyone else knowing? Who else knew?
Yeah. Did he load them in his Corvette and take them home?
Right.
Or did somebody deliver them? Who knows?
I know. It's just such an unfair two-tiered justice that we have going on right now. But the Department of Justice opposes Trump's motion, stating that he hasn't provided evidence for selective prosecution and emphasizing the seriousness of the alleged crimes. Okay, so all of this information that came out, that Julie Kelly posted about the motion, adding the notes of others who were prosecuted for the same issues, include Biden, Pence, and both Clintons and Jim Comey. Kelly also posted an update. More evidence of comms between NARA and Biden White House, including Deputy White House Counsel Jonathan Sue. Again.
Exactly. Hey, man, and think about this. The 5 names that you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So last night we watched Flynn.
Yes, we did.
The movie with Mike Flynn and him, the documentary, and him telling his story of all of this that has happened. And when you named those 5, those were exactly the same 5 that were named in his case. Those are exactly the same 5 that were named in the Russia collusion. Those are exactly the same 5 that have been behind every bit of this from the beginning. Our opinions are our own. But I'm telling you, they've been behind every bit of this from the beginning. And
yes.
And thanks to Judge Allen Cannon by releasing all of this information and releasing it unredacted, we get to see this.
We did see that movie last night, and like James says, and I watched every minute. I mean, I was just glued to the TV. General Mike Flynn, bless his heart, sir, we salute you.
Yeah.
He put a statement on his X, and it says, in the Oval Office, 5 January 2017, a meeting run by Obama was the day democracy died. We can get it back if we apply local action. America first. Make sure everybody goes and watch the movie Flynn. That's the only way you're going to get to the truth, and we need to spread his truth.
Yeah.
And his truth is that they framed him because they didn't like what he had to offer, because he was going to take down a lot of those offices.
A lot of the bloated bureaucracies in the intel agency, because he had already put a report out earlier in his career that showed how ineffective these bureaucracies were, and he was ready to take them down and to get rid of them. All of those people knew that. Barack Obama knew that. Joe Biden knew that. They all knew it, and they even revealed in their matter of fact that President Obama, when they were going through the transition to President Trump, he done all he could. Even told President Trump, you don't need to hire Mike Flynn.
Yeah, what did he tell him? 2 things?
Uh-huh.
And that was one of them.
And the other one was North Korea.
North Korea, yes.
And when President Trump heard that, immediately he knew that something wasn't up, because here's General Mike Flynn, who is one of the most decorated generals in the Intel Division and was running the Intel Division.
Yes.
And been appointed by President Obama twice.
Yes. He got promotion.
Yes.
You know,
he was appointed twice by President Obama.
You know, and he got all the medals and everything. And what are they saying, that they think that he did it to keep him close, because you know he could take his book and offer it to somebody else.
Yep. And hey, let's not give away too much of it, but it's available on Amazon Prime to rent or buy.
A lot of information.
Yep. Good information. Take the time to listen to it and watch it. We
count that as a win, because General Flynn has been through a lot. His family has been through a lot, and they're on the other side of it, and they're doing really well right now, and they're fighting for America.
And his movie is considered part of this win, too, because what this does now is it brings even more exposure to what the hell is going on in Washington, D.C., and how corrupt that we have got.
And you know what else it does? It brings Russiagate back.
Yes, it does.
You know, it's all over this morning when I woke up.
That's a good point. Yeah,
it is a very good point.
Yeah.
Russiagate needs to be, you need to be reminded every single day what they did to President Trump and a lot of people in his sphere.
Yes. And we want you to understand that even if it was somebody else in 2016 other than Hillary Clinton that had won the election, this was happening to them one way or the other. They
were going to find some way. The thing is, President Trump, way stronger than they ever thought.
And was way more on top of his game than they ever thought.
He figured it out pretty quick.
Yes, he did.
I was kind of disappointed that he didn't right away, but I get it. I get that you're in there. You don't know these people. These people are like kissing your butt and giving you advice and telling you stories. And, you know, but he knows better now. And he's got a plan. And we're all going to be right behind him 100%.
Yep.
And another thing that's happening right now that's a win and that we're 100% on top of, and that is the official statement that came out yesterday from the Republican Party of Arizona. It says, Arizona Supreme Court upholds legal inquiry rights in election law case. This has been very, very important. They're trying to criminalize you checking on their elections, you looking at their elections. You know, that is what these Democrats do.
Yeah.
What they're doing is they're trying to make it hard to prove that they're cheating.
Right. And the statement reads, we are pleased with the Supreme Court of Arizona's decision to reverse and vacate the attorney fees awards previously levied against us. This ruling reaffirms the fundamental legal principle that raising questions about the interpretation and application of election laws is a legitimate use of the judicial system, not a groundless or bad faith action. We remain committed to ensuring that election laws are followed precisely, upholding the integrity of our electoral process. This is big.
Yes.
Because they cannot take you anymore and push you off to the side and go, you got no standing.
That's exactly right.
They cannot do this to you.
You have the right to take anybody has a right to file a lawsuit. Yep. You have that right. I mean, no standing. I'm sorry, but if you're filing and you spent the money and you filed the lawsuit, then you have standing.
Well,
you have the right to be heard.
Here's my opinion on that. If you have what you're calling a free and fair election and it doesn't look at the end of it as a free and fair election, you as a voter have every right to want your vote audited. I want to see what happened.
Yes.
You got to show me this because you're the one that touted we got free and fair elections. No, you don't. Let's see. Prove it.
Good point. Very good point. And, you know, these Democrats continue to say, you know, well, you are against democracy if you dare to talk about destroy our democracy. That's continues over and over and over. You know, when they're destroying our democracy, let me tell you that right now. Janet Yellen, she comes out and she says, threats to democracy risk U.S. economic growth. Now, folks, I saw this article this morning and I almost just kept on going because you look at this picture of this little old lady standing there looking like she's so sweet and old, like a grandmother that you just want to hug, but she's not. Do not get sucked into that.
This is an evil woman right here. Yeah. This is an evil old lady.
I'm sorry, but please don't.
Yeah. If this was the only thing we've ever heard about her in the news, man, then
yeah, because really, why would the Treasury Secretary come out and all of a sudden she's political? She is not supposed to be political. And they go on in this article that I'm reading. They say, Yellen taking a rare step toward the arena, never mentions Trump.
Yeah, let's get a backstory on what was going on here. She goes, Treasury Secretary Janet, and this is from Newsmax Money article. It says Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is arguing that a fractured democracy can have destructive effects on the economy, an indirect jab at Donald Trump. Yellen, in an address prepared for delivery Friday in Arizona, uses economic data to paint a picture of how disregard for America's democratic processes and institutions can cause economic stagnation for decades. What?
What? Okay, so listen to what she's going to be telling.
So the market, so the marketplace,
in Arizona, who we just talked about.
Well, the marketplace doesn't
nothing to do with
dictate that. Yeah, the marketplace itself and what consumers want in their lives and want produced, that doesn't have an effect.
Yeah, she's going to go on. This speech is going to happen at the McCain Institute Sedona Forum, but she hints at the former president's potential impact if he regains the White House. Now listen to this, folks. Yellen acknowledges that democracy doesn't seem like typical terrain for a Treasury Secretary, but she adds that democracy is critical to building and sustaining a strong economy. A copy of her speech was released in advance to her office.
A copy of that speech was released to her in advance because all she's doing is yakking talking points, man.
She is.
That's all she's doing.
That is all she's doing.
Yep.
But you know what? Listen to what she said. Democracy is critical to building and sustaining a strong economy. So in other words, I think this is a threat.
That we got to keep we got to keep their democracy,
and
or they're going to crash the economy.
If we don't, they're going to crash the economy. Look, she goes on to say, the argument made by authoritarians and their defenders that chipping away at democracy is a fair or even necessary trade for economic gains is deeply flawed, she says. Undercutting democracy undercuts a foundation of sustainable and inclusive growth. She points to a study suggesting that democratization increases gross domestic product per capita by around 20% in the long run. Yes.
So basically, in a nutshell, what they're trying to say is we're going to keep our democracy. If you don't want it, we're going to crash the economy because, by God, we're going to control the economy.
That's exactly right.
That's basically what
she's saying.
And
how dare you businesses...
Yeah.
You know,
I guess that's what she's saying.
And then she wants to go on and cite January 6th as a day when democracy came under threat, as rioters spurred on by a lie and stormed the Capitol.
Which has been debunked already.
Yes, it has.
6 ways to Sunday. Yeah, and again, she points to the boogeyman. Yellen points to China as a cautionary example and warns that its future growth is far from certain. She says that the absence of some democratic pillars will continue to pose challenges as China navigates the transition to an advanced economy. You know what, Miss Yellen? I don't give 2 shits about China's economy. I mean, really.
Yes, so we really need to keep an eye on Miss Yellen. She comes out and acts like that she, is like the little old lady, but really, she's threatening you. She says recent research has been consistent with my belief. It has been shown that greater central bank independence is associated with greater price stability, which contributes significantly to long-term growth. Right there.
That's
central bank independence.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Pushing toward digital currency.
Yep. You can't trust them, folks. You cannot trust these people. This is what we call signal. And another signal that we have going on right now is our open borders, which we always talk about almost every single day. And right here I have an article from the Midwestern. It says, illegals demand driver's license at a rally in the Michigan capital. So illegals come in to America and they make all sorts of demands. And the most important one right here is a driver's license. Because most states, when you get a driver's license, you get to check a box. You want to be registered to vote? There you go.
So they go to the Michigan House and begin to shout, "What do we want?" on Wednesday as a camera crew documented the gathering just outside of the House floor. What do we want? Driver's license. The crowd of dozens chanted in unison.
I'm sorry.
No.
No. And then they went on to say, when do we want them? Now.
Yeah.
They said.
Golly.
I mean, we're just supposed to, you go and rally and all of a sudden your word is what happens, you know? I don't understand this, all this protesting about stuff that they know that it's illegal for them to get. It is illegal to allow illegal immigrants to obtain driver's license. Period. ... No other ifs, ands, or buts about it. But anyway, that is signal. That's another signal we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah. And
because that's going to happen everywhere. People are paying these people to go do these rallies, to do these protests. They don't just all of a sudden,
it's NGOs.
All of a sudden have 20, a dozen, a couple dozen, or whatever, just show up at at the Capitol. All of a sudden, we want driver's license.
Get them across the border, and then the NGOs organize it.
Yes, so that's all organized in that signal. So you need to pay attention to that because that's going to be happening at every Capitol. Watch. That's just the beginning. So here we go.
Yep.
This is noise.
Yep. Let's close with noise.
Let's close with noise today.
Here we go. Kristi Noem defends herself for shooting her untrainable, dangerous 14-month-old hunting dog and a goat. Blames fake news media for the backlash. And this was the biggest distraction of the week. And a lot of people got into it.
We didn't.
Yeah. Gateway Pundit reports on this, and they say that South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem at the center of a controversy following a report from The Guardian about her admission in an upcoming book that she shot and killed her family's 14-month-old hunting dog, Cricket, and a goat after a series of aggressive incidents. The book, No Going Back, The Truth on What's Wrong with Politics and How We Move America Forward, paints a stark picture of the hard choices Noem has faced in her personal life and her political career. And in the book, Governor Noem describes a troubling incident where Cricket, a white-haired pointer, displayed uncontrollable behavior during a hunting trip, leading to the dog attacking chickens and attempting to bite Noem. Here's an excerpt from the Guardian report. It says, by taking Cricket on a pheasant hunt with older dogs, Noem says, she hoped to calm the young dog down and begin to teach her how to behave. Unfortunately, Cricket ruined the hunt, going out of her mind with excitement, chasing all those birds and having the time of her life. Noem describes calling Cricket, then using an electronic collar to attempt to bring her under control. Nothing worked. Then on the way home after the hunt, as Noem stopped to talk to a local family, Cricket escaped Noem's truck and attacked the family's chickens, grabbing one chicken at a time, crunching it to death with one bite, then dropping it to attack another. Cricket, the untrainable dog, Noem writes, behaved like a trained assassin.
When Noem finally grabbed Cricket, she says, the dog whipped around to bite me. Then, as the chicken's owner wept, Noem repeatedly apologized, wrote the shocked family a check for the price they had asked, and helped them dispose of the carcasses littering the scene of the crime. Through it all, Noem says, Cricket was the picture of pure joy. I hated that dog, Noem writes, adding that Cricket had proved herself untrainable, dangerous to anyone she came in contact with, and less than worthless as a hunting dog.
Yep. And she said, at that moment, Noem says, I realized I had to put her down. And Noem decided to kill the unarmed goat the same way she had just killed Cricket the dog. The thing is, I've got my opinions. You've got yours. Hey, as we tell everybody on our show, these are our opinions. Well, in this story, you have your opinion. You decide.
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.